Welcome everyone for more Subnautica Below Zero modded. No new mods today. Instead, we're going to be playing around with some of the existing mods that I have only kind of scratched the surface on. One of those is first the Better ACU mod. And what this does is this one has the glare fits. If you didn't see the original episode where I initially loaded this, so it fixes the weird glare with the glass. It also gives us options such as auto feed into bioreactors, which I currently have turned off in order to build up my stockpile here, but it lets things like the Squidsharks and the eye jellies provide power to the base as well. Now I have a good few solar panels, so I'm not losing too much power, and my two bioreactors are actually not draining any power. So I want to know how much of this is actually providing. So first, we're going to start by turning off the power generation and see. Well, nothing changed. Maybe let's turn the power generation multiplier up from 1 to 50. Let's go. Okay, I went up 50 points. So yeah, I went from 2,050 to 2,100. So I went up 50 points. And it may also be a factor that one Squidshark may have just hatched. Oh, there goes a new egg. I guess new egg is rolling. Okay, so we had a new Squidshark get hatched. I went up 50 points in storage, which is interesting. I seem to be getting more storage. If it doesn't go back, it doesn't go back. So I'm assuming, yeah, I get 50 points of power capacity per Squidshark in there. I don't seem to be getting any actual like power production. You know, let's do this. Let's just empty it. For now, I'm just gonna take out all but, well, we'll just keep one on each row. I'll start with the middle. Well, actually, I'll keep 4. We'll do 2 on each row. I want to see how that does for power production. Finally, all right, I have got power draining from this bioreactor, not this bioreactor. So let's put 1 Squidshark in. So I want to see how this works. Oh, I can. There we go. All right, so we went up 50 on the power capacity. And let's just see how this is going. It's still draining. Okay, let's grab 2 more. Boop, boop. Up another 100. And let's see how the power's doing. Still draining. All right. I think this was going down a little bit more before this. Like it was draining a lot more at a time, but I'm not sure now. You know what? I'm just going to let this go. And I'm going to let that 3 stay in there. We got a couple of eggs in there too. We'll see what happens. If at the worst case, I drain the bioreactors of their fuel, I'll throw some Squidsharks in. We'll take it down to just 2 solar panels. And we'll see how that works. I want to leave at least some way to make sure I keep things lined up similar. I got this lined up pretty nicely right there.
Dangerous weather approaching. Seek shelter.
There we go. That should work. That should take out that one. Right? Nope, it's not taking that one out because that was only 150 I dropped, so it's still treating it, yep, like it's there. Well, 2 solar panels. That's not enough to keep up with 2 water filtration units, so we'll see how this goes. In the meantime, though, I do have a good number of Seamonkeys for another mod. We got that one. We got a baby there. All right, that's good. I'm not killing off my sea monkey population. So the extravagant gifts mod, which I've already shown in other videos as well, lets these sea monkeys bring you even more fancy gifts like ion cubes. And you see, I've been building a little scavenger army. I've got a good number already, like all those. Here goes 3 more. And I just have now glass. That's it. So they should be focusing on bringing me quartz. So I'm going to give it about 5 minutes. I will see how much I get. So 5 minutes, and I took the time to count. I have, it's 15 or 16 sea monkeys right now. At least. I may have more. They tend to move around. It doesn't help. In 5 minutes, I got 6 quartz and 1 copper ore. And that's just pinning the recipe for glass. You know, very basic recipe. Let's kick it up. And you know what? We'll just go 1 step higher. We'll go enamel glass. And I'm going to do the same thing after I drop this stuff off. We're going to give it 5 more minutes. I want to see how much better I do, because that was 7 items in 5 minutes from 15 or 16 sea monkeys. So another 5 minutes, and this time, with the enamel glass recipe, I received a total of 9 items. I got 7 quartz, 1 lead, and 1 diamond. And I'm going to attribute this to the fact that the quartz, even though I had enough to make glass, the recipe, it wasn't counting it as glass. Now it shows there I've got glass because the easy craft is doing that, but the easy craft is not affecting when I pin it in the upper right. So the sea monkeys, I guess, figured he can't make glass, so let's keep giving him more quartz, because I got the diamond and the lead first, or 1 piece of quartz, then the diamond, then the lead, and then the rest was nothing but quartz. So it's very interesting. I did get more with a slightly more complicated recipe, but again, I think part of that is just the fact they kept trying to give me enough quartz to make glass, and they didn't think I could make glass. Now we're going to try it instead of enamel glass. Let's go with something much more complicated. You know what? The whole nested kind of thing doesn't work very well, so let's do ion battery. That has a nice clean recipe of items they can bring, and with the extravagant gifts mod, I will get ion cubes, so that's always a win. So round number 3 with the ion battery recipe, they very quickly brought me everything to make a single ion battery. And then it became titanium, titanium, quartz, quartz. So it was, oh, you can make this. You don't need that stuff anymore. We'll go back to the generic. So right now, the best results, and only by 1 item, was when I did the enamel glass, because they couldn't bring me glass. They brought me quartz, and they didn't know I could make glass, and they just kept trying to bring that. So I got a lot more quartz for that, but I only got 1 lead, 1 diamond. In this case, I got 1 of everything I needed, and then started getting the normal fanfare of titanium, quartz, and then if I kept going, probably copper. It's not a great result so far for that, but I got 1 more test I think will give us a good comparison. I can actually place a locker on the outside now, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this in here. We're going to do the exact same thing again. We're going to do ion battery for 5 minutes, and every time I get an item, I'm throwing it in the locker. Let's see how much better this works out this time. And that's 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, every time I got an item, I placed it in the locker here, so it wouldn't count towards my total on the item pinning. I only got the 7 items. No, that doesn't count. That's outside the normal time. But yeah, 7 items. So the time I got the most was simply that I guess they were getting frustrated because they thought they had given me enough quartz to make the glass, and they didn't. But honestly, it's so close. It's 7, 8, 9 items in a 5-minute period. I'm going to say that it's pretty consistent of around 7 to 9 items, and that's with 15, 16 range sea monkeys. Now, I could always double that, triple that, quadruple that, and get stuff faster, but the more sea monkeys I dump out there, the more cluttered it's going to feel, and the more my frame rate is going to take a hit. So I don't think I'm going to be relying on the sea monkeys quite so much now for supplies, even though it is nice having a scavenger army. And I like the theme of saying scavenger army. Like, yeah, go out there and scavenge stuff for me, guys. Do the work. Well, my bioreactors are completely out. No fuel, 1 power. In just this one, I've taken out the remaining 2 solar panels. And my power's not turning off. Now, obviously, I'm not draining anything at the moment to use up that 1 power. I'm assuming everything else is turned off. But they don't seem to be charging up anything. I'm not gaining any power. I'm also not running out. Let's check my water filtration machines. If they are stopped, unpowered, okay. So they don't have enough power to drain. Unpowered. So yeah, it doesn't have enough power for everything. Let's look at this. So the enable power generation, let's turn that off. Seems to be making no difference. I mean, 1,000 power capacity for the 2 bioreactors. That means 250 for the Squidsharks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Squidsharks. So 50 power capacity each. I'm not seeing any power generation from them. Let's go to 100. This would be like shooting through the roof right now if they're generating power. And they don't seem to be. They're supposed to be. Because they have their tendrils, they have electric personalities. And they're supposed to be providing actual power generation. They're not doing that. So, yeah, one more thing. There we go. All Squidsharks possible in there. My power capacity has gone up. There's 11 Squidsharks in there. I'm not producing any power from them, it seems. We're going to turn this up to 100 again. Power's staying stable. If they're producing power, it should at least be going up a little bit, considering I just put in several more Squidsharks. Seems that the power production aspect from the Squidsharks is not working right now. So while the Seamonkeys are not working as fast as I want, the Squidsharks are just not working at all. So we clearly know now who is the more dedicated worker for my operation here. So last episode, I installed the Super Snow Fox mod, which upgrades the Snow Fox. And one of the things is it can now drive over water, or kind of drive in water. It bounces a bit. You see how much I'm kind of bouncing up and down in the water. But I am going across water with the Snow Fox. So that's really useful, actually. It makes it more useful. I can't carry a lot of stuff like if I was in the sea truck, but man, look how fast I'm going. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, okay. You gotta drive up the cliff wall? Yes, haha. I mean, well, you know, to a degree, I was able to get up there. You know, let's, gotta do it. I gotta make it. Come on. It's working. It's work. You know you want to do it. Snowfall. There we go. Granted, I could have just come here and teleported it to it, but you know, where's the fun in that? So I really should have brought my rebreather for this. So in the glacial basin, in early access, we had a spot. We came up from very deep down below through the eye jelly area, and we just kind of came up, and there was a location where you could get into the original Snow Fox base, and then they changed it to be at the location it's at currently. And so I am back in the original area, which has now been turned into more of a tunnel system. And this is supposed to be where we have eye jellies, or eye jelly eggs, and there they are. So I'm gonna grab some eye jelly eggs. You know what, while I'm down here, we'll just go ahead and grab a bunch of them. 4 of them should be enough to get started. Some of those. I'm gonna take those as reserves if I need to put some Squidsharks back in at some point. I think I got those there. So we'll just do it like that. And then I'm gonna dump my little decorative cave bush seed in. And I got plenty of Squidsharks right now. And, I mean, I'm getting extra power capacity, but again, they're not really like generating power. So I'm going to take these out. I'm just going to clear them out. Make sure we've got them up here to serve as power production. And we'll wait and see what happens when the eye jellies hatch. All right, I've got 2 eye jellies, and I never scanned the eye jelly, so let's scan that. So I'm going to take 1, and immediately my power drops 100 points. So already there's a difference there in that the Squidshark is 50 points of power capacity. Eye jelly is 100. So now, well, I've got 2 Squidsharks and Bioreactors still, and I've got 8. Well, that's actually draining some. I guess it's draining because these were already active since I loaded the game. And they were not replaced when I took out all the solar panels. So the solar panels have been added after this. So this should be first, second in terms of power production. And that means that once these drain, then it would go to solar panels, then it would go to eye jellies. So once again, I'm taking out the solar panels just to make this easier to test. So to kill time and just to see how well things would work, I decided to do 5 minutes of gathering supplies using the scanner room module compartment and flagging just quartz, and I got way more. I'm not even 5 minutes in, I got way more materials just by doing that. But the only reason I stopped short was I suddenly had a Chelicerate chasing me. And he's not supposed to be this close. And he was right over here. Somewhere. Swimming around is a Chelicerate now that is way too close to my base area. There we have it. Empty and 1 point of energy again. And granted, I don't have any additional eye jellies hatched at the moment. Actually, they haven't even produced a baby eye jelly yet, an eye jelly egg. I still have the power capacity from them. I'm just not getting any power generation. They're not providing power from their electric personality. They're providing storage, which doesn't really help because power's not going to transfer to them. So I've got to say there's something not working. It may not be bugged entirely for everyone, but it's definitely bugged for me. The generation is not working. So really, right now, the advantage of the better ACU mod is, of course, the increased alien containment limits, if you want to use that, and the overflow into bioreactors, or, well, later on, Alteragen when they are available in the game. I wouldn't worry about breed into ocean unless you were like, I'm going to do a scavenger army anyway, despite it being slow, and you just want to have it automatically breed them into the ocean. I've seen problems with that in the past, so I'm going to stick with the overflow into bioreactors. And for that, nothing is going to beat a good old Arctic peeper-filled alien containment. So one comment I got on the last video was regarding the building tweaks about building outside with the control room and the scanner room. Now, normally the building tweaks really shines more for you can build stuff that's supposed to be inside, outside, like the wall locker I built on the outside of the moon pool earlier. It does stuff like that really well. It also does let you, you know, kind of relax the restrictions as far as intersections between stuff, where, you know, you get that yellow and it's like, yeah, warning, you can't build here because it's crossing over something else. It does let you get away with that a little bit, but I did that in the sea truck inside the modules, and it froze my game up. So be cautious with that. Now, there's another thing you could do with this before I freeze, is by pressing G, you can trigger full override. Basically, that's going to let me build without worrying about the, you know, the terrain. I still have to have the supplies, but, you know, I can build without worrying about terrain issues. However, considering I've already run into a problem where it froze my game up building inside the sea truck, I am not really a fan of the idea of doing this. However, you know what? I know I could do... I could do a scanner room. So let's do a scanner room real quick. And we'll just see if I get a weirdness. If I suddenly crash the game or not. If it freezes something up. Okay, well that did stutter for a moment, but it didn't like completely freeze. I actually don't need a scanner room. Oh, and my power has completely bottomed out. I have no power now. But very nice glow from everything inside. Look at that. Oh, that looks good. Ah, yeah. Wish we could just turn the lights off with the control room without cutting power. All right. Well, you know what? There's a reason for keeping some of those. There we go. I got power again. Before I commit to going with the full override option here for this, I'm at least going to make use of it for something I actually need. And that's the control room. So we're going to split this off like I was doing before. I like the glass compartments because it makes it look good.
In the control room,
all right, got the control room. And odds are something's going to be wonky with these as soon as I save and reload the save. But we'll take that chance and just see. I'm turning full override back to defaults. You see just how it sits. It technically works. It just doesn't do the terraforming. There is a mod, again, that does automatic terraforming. When you place it down, it will terraform for you where you place it. So in the end, if I decide to keep this, that might be the better option. But it will work with building tweaks. I'm just not a fan of it after the experience I had where everything completely froze. I couldn't move at all. The game was completely frozen. Every fish, the waves, all that frozen because I built something that was not quite lined up right in the sea truck. So now we know the better ACU mod does have its appeal. It has its benefits, but one of the benefits that we were testing out that we were wanting to use it for, at least in my case, is not working at the moment. The power generation doesn't seem to be working. The power storage seems to be working, whether that's turned on or off. So I don't know if that's something I really am going to focus on at this point, especially since the overflow into bioreactors gives such a great option just by putting Arctic peepers in there. I mean, with that, I'd never run out of power. But we'll try a different base later on and see if we can do a little bit better with that by going strictly bioreactor powered. But, you know, for now, it is what it is. I tried. It's just not working quite correctly. But, you know, the stovepots driving on water actually helps a lot. It's very speedy if you just need to get around really quickly. You do lose the benefit of having the extra storage of the sea truck. But, you know, if you just need to do a quick little run, grab something, come back, especially if you're going into the basin, ice spires, it's a great option. I'm going to say check out the Super Snow Fox mod for sure if you haven't done so. As far as the extravagant gifts mod, benefit is really in the fact that you build a scavenger army to bring you stuff that you cannot find readily in your area, or stuff that is going to be in a finite amount. Ion cubes, you know, being able to get a lot of those if you want to make a lot of ion batteries, ion power cells, is great for that. Also, well, I'm going to use it for table coral samples. That's another one. But that you can get without the extravagant gifts mod. But it definitely helps if that's your thing. For me, it's a little bit slow for normal materials. So I'm going to stick to the very fancy materials for that. But that is it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what mods you would like to see tested out that I have not already tested out. Or if you have any crazy suggestions you want to try with one of the existing mods, leave it in a comment and I'll see what I can do. And that's it for this video, like I said. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Shame on you if you haven't done so already, so go do it now, and I will see you next time.